Assalamualaikum and very good morning to our lecturer, Madam Nida, and all my fellow friends. Today, our group will be presenting about deposit product and Islamic deposit product in banking financial products. So we hope all of you can pay attention while we are presenting. Well, without wasting more time, I will introduce my team members. Firstly, I will introduce myself. My name is SITI NURHIDAYAH binti Muhammad YAZID. My matric number is 19 BB08015.
My name is AS-SAIYYIDAH FATIMAH ZAHRAH binti Muhammad Noh. My matric number is 18BB08066.
I'm Muhammad ADIL bin ZAINUL ARIFIN, matric number 18BB08083.
My name is HAZEEQ bin Muhammad HISHAM, 19BB08096.
My name is Muhammad FARIS IZZUDDIN bin Muhammad SALLEH and my matric number is 18BB08086.
My name is IMRAN bin OMAR, nama matric 18BB08091.
For introduction, first we will define the definition of banking. What is a banking? Banking is defined as a business activity that accepts and protects funds owned by other individuals and entities and lends these funds for economic activities such as making profit or simply paying operating expenses. In the banking industry, they has divided into conventional financial and Islamic financial system. The conventional banking is a system that implemented by financing institutions that accept deposit of money or valuable such as gold and silver from other institutions, business and the general public. So, what is Islamic banking? Islamic banking refers to a bank or banking activity system that complies with the principle of Sharia and its principal application to Islamic economic development.
Today, we're gonna present about banking financial products. So I will explain my part, which is characteristic deposit product and advantages of deposit product. So what is characteristic deposit products? Deposit product consists of a wide variety of financial products whereby client deliver deposit funds in cash or digitally with financial institutions and may earn a financial return depending on the deposit types and durations. So we go to the characteristic of deposit product. We have a 10 kind of characteristic of deposit products, and first is fixed rate of interest, which is the rate of interest for term deposit are fixed and are not subjected to the fluctuation in the markets. The second one is a safety of investment. Since interest rate of the term deposit are not affected by the charge in the economy, it is one of the safest investment option available. Third one is a price investment period. The investor has the freedom to choose the tenure of the investment based on the plan offered by the financial institution. Normally, the interest rate offered by the institution will be higher for a longer tenure, but it is advisable to compare the interest to tenure ratio before making the investment. Fourth is interest payment. The investor has the option to choose to receive the interest income neither on maturity of periodically, monthly, quarterly or yearly. Next, we go for wealth generations. The stable interest received on the investment ensure that the investor wealth grow even during difficult time in the market. Okay. Next is rollover. An investor who does not require their money on the maturity of the term deposit has an option to roll over the deposit for the fresh fund. Rollover refer to the reinvesting of maturing proceed in the new term deposit and adding on the interest. So an investor does have to utilize their money as soon as the term deposit matures. Next, we have a penalty on premature withdrawal. Since term deposit come with a fixed tenor, it is considered lock-in. If the investor option to withdraw from the deposits before the lock-in period end, they are liable to pay a penalty to the financial institution along with the lower interest income. Next, we have a loan against deposits. If in a contingent situation, the investor need financial liquidity, they can avail a loan up to the 60 to 70% of the deposit amount. Next, we have a taxation on interest. Under the Income Tax Act, the interest earned on the deposit is taxable income and can be subject to the tax deduction at the source. Next, we have a low investment limit. The lower limit of investment varies as per the financial institutions, but the lower limit is generally, although there is no upper limit on how much can be invested in term deposit. Next, we have a insurance on deposits. Under the RBI regulation, any deposit in the certified bank is eligible for an insurance cover of up to 1 million under the deposit insurance and credit guarantee. That's all for the characteristic of deposit. Next, we go to advantages of deposit products. Although many deposit accounts pay relatively low returns, they still hold a number of attractions for investors. The first and foremost is their high liquidity. Your money in the deposit account is always available, never farther away than you, checkbook, or the nearest ATM machine. Even accounts that require high minimum balance generally charge only small monthly fees if your account balance deep below the minimum. And if you need to, you can close the account at any time. Second, deposit account offer a high degree of security. Even deposit accounts that are not backed and that rely solely on the manager of the portfolio, that the deposit are invested in the money market account, offers security because they are usually invested in the sum of the most reliable debt security available. Finally, deposit accounts are available to anyone with even a small amount of money. You can save nearly amount of money in the passbook account. For example, there's no need to meet minimum investment requirement that can run into the thousands of dollars with other kind of investment. That's all from me, Muhammad ZAINUL ARIFIN. Assalamualaikum and thank you.
Islamic deposits forms the idea of monetary strength for Islamic banks, employing them in accordance with Sharia. They use these deposits to finance operations and increase profit for the shareholders. In Islamic finance, depositors are compared with conventional investors or shareholders who earn a dividend when the deposits or investment makes a profit. Islamic deposit product is similar to the conventional deposit products such as saving account, current account and fixed account. However, an Islamic bank is relatively different from its conventional counterpart due to its unique nature of product offerings and operations which are driven by the Sharia principles. Islamic bank has commercial contracts such as mudarabah, wakalah, qard, wadi'ah and others. First is mudarabah. The term refers to a sort of business asset which one party brings capital and therefore the other personal effort. The proportionate share in profit is decided by mutual agreements, but the loss, if any, is borne only by the owner of the capital, during which case the entrepreneur gets nothing for his labours. It's an acceptance in which the Islamic bank provides all the capital while the opposite party manages the business. The profit is shared in pre-agreed ratios, and loss, if any, unless caused by negligence or violations of terms of the contract by the mudarib, which is borne by the Islamic bank. The bank passes on this loss to the depositors. The customer who acts as the Rabbul Al-Mal or wealth or property owner places his money with the bank, who will manage the funds according to the mandates given to it as a mudarib or fund manager. The distributions or profits between the banks and the depositor is based on a mutually pre-agreed profit sharing ratios. Therefore, mudarabah is a venture capital funding of an entrepreneur who provides labor while financing is provided by the bank, so that for both profits and risks are shared. Mudarabah contracts may be restricted or unrestricted. In an al-mudarabah al-muqayyad, or it's known as restricted mudarabah, the Rabbul al-Mal may specify a particular business for the mudarib, in which case he shall invest the money in that particular business only. For the bank customer, they would be held in investment funds rather than investment accounts. In Al-Mudarabah Al-Mutlaqah or unrestricted Mudarabah, the Rabbul Al-Mal shows the Mudarib to undertake whatever business he wishes and so authorize him to invest the money in any business he deems fit. The institution may commingle the investor funds with their own funds and invest them in a pool portfolios going to investment accounts rather than investment funds. Okay, next we go into the court. Court deposit account is an Islamic deposit account operated with the Sharia principles of court. The merchandise features a sum of cash, pets or exceptions for purpose of deposit by Sharia. Literally, court means isolation. It's called court because through this contract a particular part of the lender's property stops and it's given to a borrower. Islam has prohibited usury and allowed loans. Similarly, court refers to an interest-free loan intended to assist an individual who requires cash. A court contract is established when ownership of a sum of cash belonging to the lender is transferred to the borrower and therefore the borrower is obligated to repay the lender fully. Court contract shall contain the contracting parties comprising lenders and borrower, offer and acceptance and money. For current and saving accounts, a court contract is established when the customer or lender transfers or deposits funds into an account with the bank. For overdrawn accounts, a court contract is established when the customer draws funds over the available balance within the account. The bank or lender may exceptions allow the account of the customer or borrower to be separately overdrawn subject to repayment the overdrawn amount to the bank with a stipulated period. Going to Wadi'ah. Literally, Wadi'ah means deposits. Legally, it's contract whereby a depositor leaves his property with another for safekeeping. Through Wadi'ah, an individual empowers another to stay and protect his property. The contract of Wadi'ah is initiated by the owner of the deposit who must leave his property to the trust and care of a depository. Deposit or Wadi'ah refers to both the property and to the contract itself. In a Wadi'ah contract, an individual deposits his property with another for safekeeping purpose. The depository will return the deposit upon demand. A depository therefore might not charge the depositor for safekeeping the deposits. In fact, there are two sorts of Wadi'ah. The primary is Wadi'ah Yadul al-Amanah or safekeeping with trust, whereby the custodian doesn't have the proper to utilize the Wadi'ah but is going to be liable only just in case for loss thanks to negligence. The second is Wadi'ah Yadul al-Damanah or safekeeping with guarantee, whereby the custodian can utilize the Wadi'ah, for example the assets placed in safekeeping, but is going to be liable just in case of any payments incurred. Islamic bank offerings like safety deposits boxes are contracted under Wadi'ah Yadul al-Amanah. Islamic banks use the contract of Wadi'ah Yadul Damanah or safekeeping with guarantee to mobilize deposits. Nowadays, almost all banks in Malaysia use Sharia deposit products. Some of the banks that use it are Bank Islam, Maybank, ARIFIN Islamic Bank, Hong Leong Islamic Bank and Public Bank Islamic Banking. This is among the examples of Sharia deposit products used by banks in Malaysia. Here is Sharia deposit products were applied by Bank Islam, Maybank, ARIFIN Islamic Bank, Hong Leong Islamic Bank and Public Bank Islamic Bank. Malaysia aims to become a hub of Islamic finance in the world. In line with its visions, the main goal is to provide multiple products that would increase the productivity of Islamic financial institutions that would boost the Malaysian economy. Currently, tawarruk, or commonly known as commodity murabaha, is being extensively practiced by the Malaysian Islamic financial system. It was officially endorsed to be permissible based on the jurisdiction from Sharia. The principles of tawarruk has become the underlying principles in many Islamic financial products such as deposit products. In the case of a deposit account, tawarruk is applied to replace a the Mudharabah term deposit account. It made Mudharabah deemed unsuitable for a deposit account since its essence is a non-guaranteed principle. The table here shows tawarruk deposits in Islamic finance institution in Malaysia, which are in Bank Muamalat, Maybank M Islamic, Hong Leong Islamic Finance, Kuwait Finance House, Bank Rakyat and Eurobank.
I will continue presenting about difference between Islamic deposit products and conventional deposit products. Firstly is the terms of the underlying contract. In Malaysia, Islamic Bank offer deposit product based on contract of wadiah, damanah, mudharabah and qard hasan, which ensure that money is kept and invested in a legal and Sharia manner. As both parties are considered partner, the profit is then allocated between the bank and their depositor proportionately. Besides, conventional banks accept deposit based on loans for all types of deposit account including investment, deposit account, saving and current account. Interest-based returns are provided for the savings account and invested deposit accounts, where current accounts may offer free banking facilities. In addition to this, conventional banks invest the deposit in non-Sharia compliance avenues and subsequently earns non-Sharia compliance return. Secondly is a deposit product guarantee. The principal amount of the wadiah, damanah and qard contract is fully guaranteed in Islamic terms except mudharabah. This contract followed the same rules, which stated that monetary or non-monetary advantage should be offered to attract customers to deposit money in the bank. The bank, on the other hand, has the choice of sharing the profit with depositors as a form of discretionary hibah. However, in conventional deposit product, the principal and interest are predetermined and guaranteed. The system guarantees that a depositor receives a predetermined return on the nominal value of the deposit, and the deposit are issued in most cases. A borrower, on the other hand, pay a predetermined interest rate on the amount borrowed and have provided collateral to guarantee the principal and interest. Then, interest is another difference between Islamic and conventional deposit product. There is no interest in Islamic term because the interest charged to depositor of fixed deposit account is considered usury of riba, which is forbidden by Islamic law. Deposit into an Islamic bank account using the contract of wadiah and mudharabah. As both parties are considered partners, the profit is then distributed proportionately between the bank and their depositors. In this way, bank act as agent for depositors, dispersing funds to deserving client on their behalf. However, interest is fixed at the predetermined rate but can be subject to the revision in conventional deposit. The depositor from conventional bank receive profit from their investment in the form of predetermined interest rate irrespective of the bank's performance. For that very reason, a conventional bank is allowed the maximum profit without any general restriction. Other difference is incentive in the deposit product. The bank cannot offer any incentive in the form of gift, promotional item, attractive benefit or other item to attract new depositors in Islamic deposit. While in the conventional deposit, the bank can offer an incentive to attract new depositors. For example, the CIMB ASIA Saver account is conventional online saving account in partnership with ASIA that reward depositor with high interest rate and ASIA related travel incentive. Lastly is the terms of the deposit. The deposit is accepted on the condition that the money is used in an Islamic deposit with the assist of the bank's management expertise and skill. A deposit, on the other hand, is a type of debt given to the bank by the customer in the form of a conventional deposit. The depositor who deposit money into a deposit account is known as a lender, where the bank is known as the borrower because the bank will pay the deposit customer a benefit.
In a conclusion for this topic, the financial system and bank in it play a critical role in the company's uses of currency. Bank run the payment system that enable the local market to operate and individuals and companies to travel to distant places and act there. Deposits are an important because it is source of financial strength for the banks. For the Muslim people, they must use a Sharia compliance product because it has stated in Quran وَأَحَلَّ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا. In the meaning, Allah has allowed trade and has forbidden riba. It has been warning for us to avoid riba. Moreover, Islamic banking is free from riba, so we should use Islamic banking product to save us from Jahannam.